All right, I think we are official, so we'll go ahead and get started. And thank you, Esley. Um, Welcome, everyone. Really glad that you were able to make it tonight. I am super excited to kick off this LA organizing internship that we're going to be offering this spring semester. And I know you all on the call know who I am, but my name is Kate. I am the Community Advocacy Coordinator for the LA region and will be working directly with the interns over the next few months. So that being said, the LA Organizing Internship, um, the purpose of the internship, what the interns will be doing is interns will be providing technical assistance to the Los Angeles chapters to develop campaigns for their identified local issues. And so I know that several of you have been participating in the chapter work over the last few months. So when I say developing campaigns, some of the issues LA members have identified as wanting to move forward include things like a basic income for former foster youth after they leave care, developing tools to increase social worker accountability. And so working with app developers to develop a rate your social worker type app, and then being able to use the information gathered from the app to push for better training and support for social workers to better serve the people they work with. Um, Implementation of placement preservation strategies. So we know that DCFS has not done the best work possible to implement the part of AB 2247 and AB 1061 that includes preserving placements. And Los Angeles chapter members have developed a lot of recommendations about strategies that DCFS could use. And so developing some campaigns around moving that forward. Working with the Free Us All campaign. So there is a movement here in the Los Angeles area around making sure that probation and juvenile hall are not the go-to tools to work with youth in the community, making sure that there's other opportunities available for youth. And so it'd be developing out CYC's part of that campaign work. And then the final possibility, opportunity is working with DCFS to build out what authentic youth engagement would look like. What does it mean to authentically engage with youth and take feedback from youth and implement policy recommendations and practices that come from youth? And so those are all things that are on the table. That doesn't mean those may not be the only things that come up, but and we certainly wouldn't expect you to implement all of those things, but that's the range of kinds of issues that we would be talking about developing campaigns around and then moving those forward over the spring semester. So as an intern, you would be in a leadership position and really serving as a liaison between the members and supporters, CYC staff, community partners, and really helping to move these initiatives forward. Do you have any questions about kind of what the purpose is or what you would, kind of what the ultimate goal is or what the project you would be working on over the spring semester? And it's
Not
okay.
really. Not really. It all kind of seems clear. There's several missions to do, so I'm pretty sure we're all gonna be like kind of working on separate things or all together. It kind of varies on probably what it is.
Yeah,
Uh,
so yeah, now you're getting into a little bit of the technicalities of things. So there will be 5 positions available. So the goal is to have 5 interns. And Jerry, as you said, so for some things you'd be working together on them, and then for some things you'd be working independently on. and it would be your project. The internship is going to start February 8th and run through the end of May. So the final date is May 28th. That's just because the 31st is a holiday. So February 8th to May 28th is the term of the internship. And some of the nitty gritty parts of it is that first week of the internship, that week starting February 8th, you'll be expected to participate in an onboarding process. So we will be working with people's schedules to make sure we're scheduling things appropriately around school and other obligations. But there will be an onboarding kind of retreat process where we'll do some initial training. Following that, there will be weekly cohort calls. So as a group, the interns will be meeting together weekly. And there will also be one-on-ones with CYC staff. And so as your supervisor, you would meet with me once a week. You would also be expected to attend every other week chapter meetings. You will be getting weekly assignments. So in the cohort meetings and when you meet with me, we'll be developing weekly assignments. And so there will be some expectation of follow through on that. You'll be working with the Ledge and Policy Committee representatives for the Los Angeles region, as well as with the policy coordinator to support developing out the campaign work to address the issues that have been identified. You'll be expected to facilitate activities at chapter meetings. So that wouldn't necessarily be every chapter meeting. You'd definitely be working with other CYC members to determine, based on the agenda and the other things that need to be accomplished, when you could run activities, but there will be an expectation that you do some facilitating at chapter meetings. You'll also be doing some of the more admin type tasks. So part of that will be doing reminder calls or emails, check-ins with individual members. You may form a small committee of members to work on a particular aspect of the campaign. So you may be organizing meetings with that smaller group of folks, sort of depending. And then there may be some administrative tasks like typing up notes from meetings that you attend. There will also be an expectation that you will be participating in meetings with some of our community partners. So oftentimes there may be a work group meeting at DCFS that they're looking for CYC representation with, or the Alliance might be having a meeting that we'd want to get information or develop some relationships as part of, or CLC. So there could be various meetings. Again, all this stuff is going to be based on schedule and availability, but the expectation is that you will be working up to 10 hours per week for each week of the internship. And so there is a little bit of flexibility. So for example, if you have like midterms or finals coming up, if there's a week that you have, for whatever reason, a big project due, we can have some flexibility. So maybe you work some fewer hours in one week and then more hours in another week. But in general, you should be expecting about 10 hours per week. Any questions about the expectations and some of that nitty gritty stuff?
It's all going to be virtually, right? There any expectation to be in person?
So for at least the foreseeable future, this internship will be virtual until we get the go-ahead from public health that we can start having in-person meetings. Right now, all of CYC's activities have moved virtually, so the internship will also be virtual.
Cool.
And if we do determine that we're going to start having some in-person activities, that will be a conversation with the folks that become interns in terms of what that could look like, what their capacity is for that.
Okay.
So you won't get fired because you can't do in-person things, but we are hoping before May 28th, there will be some opportunity for in-person things.
Okay.
But again, very much depending on public health.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
Are we going to be required to do any like work for upcoming conferences?
So there will be an expectation that you are participating in CYC's Day at the Capitol conference. And on Monday, February 22nd, that you are participating in the legislative visits that are happening. So that is an excellent question. Part of participating in the legislative visits on Monday, February 22nd is some prep meetings that will happen the Sunday night before. So there will also be an expectation that you're participating in those mandated prep in order to participate in legislative visits. We would love it if you participate in more of the conference. The Day at the Capitol conference is going to be on February 19th through the 22nd. So there'll be events on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the legislative visits on Monday. And that is also going to be a virtual conference this year. So yeah, again, there's no cost to attend, and we'll be blasting out the registration link for Day at the Capitol pretty soon. Any other questions? No. Okay, so I just dropped a link to a document in the chat that covers a lot of the expectations for the internship. And so I know I kind of went through things pretty quickly, but that document does have all the kind of expectations on it. And so if you're reading that over and do have any questions, you can certainly feel free to reach out to me and ask that. I think the other just like really nitty gritty detail to share is that we will be, this is a paid internship, and it will be $16.50 per hour. So in case folks had any questions about that. Right, so how to apply? What does the application process look like? So the first step in applying is to complete the application, and I will drop the link for that in the chat. Also, this link will be going up on the Linktree this evening. So if you, for whatever reason, lose this link, you can always go to the CYC's Linktree and be able to catch it again. So complete the application. After the application, there will be the next step would be a Zoom interview. So I would reach out to you, either email, phone, text, and set up a time to complete an interview over Zoom. And then the final step, if you continue to progress, will be the reference check. And then again, the expectation is to start the week of February 8th. So part of the interview will be talking with you a little bit about what your schedule is, and sort of if you got the internship, what you would see as your hours that you would work. So we would have that discussion as part of the interview. Any questions about the application process?
Is there like an already kind of like estimated time where we will be meeting at?
An estimated time that you would be doing what?
Like, let's say you said that we'll be meeting a couple times a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there gonna be kind of like a set schedule, or is it gonna be changing? I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, so for the cohort meetings, there will be a set schedule. And so
Mhm.
it'll be based on, once we identify the 5 people who will be interns, we will find a common time that will be a consistent scheduled meeting every week. And then for the one-on-ones, I would very much like to get a consistent time with folks. Although I think there's a little bit more flexibility in terms of moving that around a little bit, because it's not going to be 6 or 8 people trying to come to the same meeting. So when it's just 2 people, it's a little easier to rearrange. But at bare minimum, it would be great to at least get a consistent day. So like, for example, we're going to meet every Tuesday. And if we can say we're going to meet every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, that's even better. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what I will say is the cohort meetings will not be scheduled at the same time as LA chapters meetings. So part of the expectation is that you're attending chapter meetings. And so it's looking like for the semester, there's actually going to be 2 opportunities for chapter meetings. So we'll be doing chapter meeting on Wednesday night and chapter meeting on Thursday night. The content will be the same, but you will have some choice in terms of when you are available to attend.
So the chapter meetings, how are they taking place? I know I haven't attended one in a pretty long time. I want to say a good 3-4 months. So like, are they taking place? You said on Wednesdays. You said, or what days?
So in the world of Zoom, they have been happening virtually. And have been happening every other week. For the holidays, we took a break and did a reassessment of schedules. And so looking at people's schedules, it looks like we're going to keep the chapter meeting time that we had every other Thursday from 5 to 7. We're going to add an additional meeting on Wednesday nights from 5 to 7. Again, the content for those meetings, like the agendas for those meetings, will be the same, but it just provides more opportunity for folks to
attend,
be able to make it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So that's it. I'll definitely open it up for questions. I guess the other important thing to know is the deadline for applications is January 20th. So applications must be in by January 20th. And that is 2 weeks away. So
the reference process?
1 week away. Sorry. So it is quick.
Okay. The reference part that you said, how is that going to look like? What kind of reference do we need? Do we even need any references? I don't know.
You do need a reference in the application. It does ask you for 1 professional reference. Okay. And so you will need to identify somebody who can speak to you as a professional. And so this could be a mentor, it could be somebody, it could be a colleague, it can be a supervisor, a former supervisor, it could be a teacher, ILP worker, somebody from a program that you've worked with. And if you have, so there are 2 things that are part of the application. One is you will need to upload a resume, and then the other thing is provide a professional reference. If either of those are barriers for whatever reason, let me know, and we'll work with you on it.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
I had a question, sorry.
No worries.
For payments and everything, would we be getting paid bi-weekly, or how would that go?
Yes, you will be getting paid every other week. You will be completing a timesheet as part of the work that you're doing. And so that timesheet will be submitted and you'll be paid based on the timesheet. And part of the onboarding is we'll give you a schedule for when timesheets are due so that you'll know, oh, my timesheets do this, and then you can expect a check the following week. So that being said, it's like the thing about timesheets and that sort of bi-weekly schedule, you do not get paid if you do not turn in a timesheet. So we do want to pay you for the work that you do. And so part of what I will be doing is motivating you to complete that timesheet. Cool. Any other questions?
Mm. How long is the interview process gonna like take? Like as far as like if we set up an interview, who sits in that interview and like kind of like what are the questions that are gonna be have?
So you can expect the interview to take about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And I am very much hoping that it will be me and a CYC member from the LA area that will be conducting the interviews.
Mhm.
That is a little tricky scheduling wise, so we'll do the best we can. And in terms of the types of questions you can expect, there will be some questions given some scenarios. So kind of thinking about things that come up in the context of CYC work that would come up in the context of developing campaigns, just to kind of get a sense of how you would navigate those situations. There will be a little bit of questions around your interests and passions, why you are motivated to take on something like this internship, and also some questions about what you hope to learn from the internship. So this is intended as a professional development experience and intended to help you get to whatever is next in your professional aspirations. So we'll definitely want to also get a little bit more information about what you hope to learn from the internship and get out of it. So there'll be some questions around that as well.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining in. I am going to officially stop the recording. I do want to just say if the link to apply for the internship will be available on CYC's Linktree. So it's Linktree/CalYouthCon for folks who are trying to find it. And also feel free to reach out to me with any questions if anything is troubling. My email is on the CYC website, calyouthcon.org. My email is Kate, Kate, at calyouthcon.org. And I can also be reached by phone or text at 510-688-6639. So do feel free to reach out with any questions that may not have been answered as part of the session, or if you're doing the application process, anything comes up. So thanks so much.
Mhm.